The Theory of Demographic Change and Response by Kingsley Davis. Kingsley Davis was a sociologist and demographer who developed the theory of demographic change and response. His ideas were developed to help us understand how populations grow, change, and adapt over time. The core idea of Davis's theory is that populations go through specific phases as they respond to changes, especially those related to birth rates, death rates, and social and economic pressures. Demographic change refers to shifts in population dynamics, like increases or decreases in birth rates or death rates. Response refers to how society adapts or reacts to those changes. This theory helps us understand how societies evolve in response to shifts in their population. By observing these patterns, we get a clearer picture of how countries develop and why populations look so different in various parts of the world. Kingsley Davis's theory is closely tied to the concept of demographic transition, which describes the shift from high birth and death rates to lower birth and death rates in a society. But Davis added to this idea by focusing on how societies respond to these changes, meaning he looked at what people and governments do when they see that their population is growing or shrinking too fast. He thought that the choices made by individuals, communities, and governments were influenced by how they perceived their population situation. If people believe their society is overpopulated, they may decide to have fewer children, use family planning, or migrate to other areas. Similarly, when populations drop, people may have more children to help support the family, or governments may even encourage births by providing financial support to families with more kids. Davis's theory highlights that societies are not just passive recipients of demographic changes, they actively adapt to and shape those changes. For example, he observed that people tend to move to urban areas when rural areas cannot support a growing population. This movement is a response to demographic change. As the population grows, people naturally look for areas where they can find work, better living conditions, and other resources. Urban migration is one common response to rapid population growth. In essence, Davis emphasized that demographic changes create social pressures, and society's responses to these pressures lead to further changes in population. For instance, in a country with high birth rates, there may not be enough jobs, housing, or resources to support everyone. In response, people might start having fewer children, or they might move to other countries